Masidlala game.
Game.
Yeah, masidlala game. Okay, Joe. Masenza singathi mna nawe singabathanda naye, right? We're in a 1950s film, so we've seen a fananale exactly. And we're saying corny lines to each other, right?
Impilo inzima for amantombazana afana nami. The world makes me feel like I'm not real.
Welcome to the Feminine Lotus live chat on Facebook Live with the Feminine Lotus cast and crew. We're going to be talking about what it takes to create such a film and also how to sustain longevity in the film. Now, today with us, I think it's best we introduce our director first. He's an award-winning director, Kgosana. Welcome.
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Kgosana Monchusi. I'm the director of Feminine Lotus. And yeah, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I'm going to introduce everyone. I'm going to start with the main man here, my cinematographer, Mr. Frank Orji. To my left is our leading lady, Cleopatra Simelani. We've got Petunia Modisapuri, our actress, and also on the film is Tlogisi Porta, who is an actor, sorry. Yeah. This is my opposite.
I think it's important to note that everybody watching the live, please do interact with us, ask questions. We will try our level best to answer the questions as truthfully as possible and the best way we know how. I think we should just get into it.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'd just like to ask, how's everyone feeling after watching the trailer?
I'm very excited, and I look forward to seeing the actual film. I'm nervous at the same time, but yeah, I look forward to getting the feedback from the audience as well.
Yeah, for me, man, you know, I got to edit the film. I was brave enough on the second one to say, you know what, I'm so protective, this is my baby, I'm gonna get in there, I'm just gonna edit it. So I spent a lot of time with the film. So then when you eventually send it out to the public, you know, and you just kind of sit and wait. And I just love the response. It's been blowing up and people are like just sharing it and getting friend requests and people want to know more. So yeah, I'm just now excited to see how the rest of the country, the millions and millions of people are gonna,
No pressure.
Tonight is the night.
Yeah.
Tonight is the night. It was quite an exciting experience working with the main man. Very creative. The whole dynamics of the film, the making, the stress around it. So I'm also looking forward to it. I want to see what happens. What will people say?
Yeah.
How are they gonna react to it? And so yeah, that's me.
I won't lie, it's quite nerve-wracking. I'm excited, yes, but it's quite nerve-wracking. You know, it's always scary putting your work out there. You know, you try to protect your children as much as you can. You cook it up for like 9 months, whatever the case may be, and then now it's out to the world to receive. And I think with that said, I just want to talk to my fellow actors. Talk us through the characters that you played on the show. Are they similar to you? Are they different? And what preparation went into creating this character?
Okay, I'll start.
Sure.
So basically, I play the character of Tando, who is the villain, right? This role for me was very challenging in that anyone who knows me knows that I'm bubbly and I'm warm and I'm, you know, energetic and stuff. And this character is like just the devil. You'll see. You'll see. Like by the time she's done, you'll be like, I hate her. Like, oh my gosh, you know? And so for me, trying to find that side, trying to find Thando inside of me was very, very challenging, because I didn't even know that I had that, you know, that side or that part inside of myself. So I really had to go deep and really dig deep to find her. But I think I did eventually, you know, I rose to the party a bit. It felt fun. It was very, very fun playing her because she was so different from me. Yeah.
And I play Vuyiswa, who is very emotional. She goes through a lot of challenges. She goes through the journey of adjusting to being honest or being true to herself, which it wasn't as challenging. I guess the only thing that I had to be okay with, to adjust to, is the fact I won't tell now. I can't give it away. Yeah, but I mean, that part of her, I had to make peace with that. I had to not be judgmental. I had to go and do research and find out that, you know, what do people that go through that situation experience? What is the experience like? But look, guys, I am an emotional wreck. So getting into character for that wasn't difficult, honestly speaking. It was very easy for me. I've learned to be in the moment, and I've learned to surrender to a character that I'm given to. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I look forward to playing a character like yours in the future. A villain.
I like what you said. You said, I shouldn't judge the character. And I think as actors, it's very important to understand that you should never judge your character. More than anything, you need to empathize and sympathize in order for you to fully embody the character. And I mean, coming from me, I played the role of Gamo. And Gamo is a very extroverted, loud, lovely, bubbly person. And I'd like to say I'm the same, but the only difference is Gamo has a difficulty with letting people know the whole loudness and the expressivity, if that's even a word, of his personality is it's a facade that he puts up so that people don't get to know the real him. And I think for me the challenge was being all of that, but also trying to hold back a little, because Gamo holds back. He wants you to know him, but not enough to know him. He's a Pisces, basically. I'd like to believe, even though, you know. But I think that was me. And my next question is for Frank.
Okay.
I think I'd like to know, just overall, what is the job of a DOP on any set, on any film?
Like the name DOP, Director of Photography. You know, the director has a vision. There's something he sees in his mind when the script arrives. He envisions it, he visualizes it. Now, my job as a DOP or a cinematographer is to create that image, to capture that image, to take it from the world in his head into what people get to see on the screen. And in order for us to do that, I need to understand the story. People don't know this, but from a DOP to a director, there are hours upon hours upon hours of scene breakdown, subtext. What are we trying to say with a specific angle of the camera? How does this angle make the character come through? How do we make sure that the angle is connecting the character to the story the character is saying loudly, but also the story the character is saying on the subtext? So we have to work night upon night on days, just to make sure that when she, an amazing actor, Cleo, when she delivers her lines, that it's not just a shot, but the shot is in sync with the line. And I know that when people see the film, they will understand what we try and do. There's just so much power shots. Every shot is like it's like the one, you know. So it's quite exciting.
I just want to jump in and add on like what I love about this guy as a DOP, you know, because for me, being a director of photography is not doing pretty shots. I mean, it's part of it. You want to look at something beautiful and be engaged and go, wow, look at how the skin is glowing, or look at that, you know. But what I like about, love about working with Frank is it's storytelling. As a director of photography we are all storytellers, we're just using different ways.
Medium,
you
yeah.
guys are using the
Our
acting,
bodies,
your bodies, and I'm using a combination of all the techniques from
Yes.
lighting, the mood, and his job is to take that and translate it through the lens. And what I like about him is that we'll sit. I think your greatest talent is actually interpreting my my treatments, because he'll be like, I'll like have something there, and he goes, okay, but what do you say? What do you say with this? And then I have to like break down. And he goes, oh, okay. He translates it, and then it comes out to the product that it ends up being. So for me, that's a key thing of a DOP, because in our industry, you have a lot of people that go, I'm a DOP because
because they can switch the camera on.
Because again, I don't know. And there's, for me, you gotta tell story, man. You have to enhance the story and take it to the next level. Like, I take the script, I have to take it to the next level with the treatment. He has to take my treatment and take it to the next level with the lens. Yeah.
It's like the same thing we did with Opus. He also directed Opus, just for you guys, for the people that didn't know, an award-winning short film as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're going very far. Please remember us.
I know, right? That's what I thought.
Like,
I saw the trailer and it said award-winning director.
Jeez, like, yes. So it's the same thing we also did with that one. It's like, shots can do a lot. If the shot isn't right, you can be an amazing actor or actress, but if they don't give you the right shot, it's a joke. Like it's a mess. So our job, from the director to the DOP, is to make sure that our actors, they shine. And I think we did that in this film. People are gonna see that. Yes,
absolutely.
I like how you said every person's job is to tell a story. Whether you're a director, whether you're an actor, whether you're a DOP. And so I'd like to know, what is the job of a director? Like, what does it take also to become an award-winning director as well?
Yeah. That is such a loaded question, man. I feel like being a director, you're like a policeman, you are a psychologist, you are a criminal, because you kind of have to you're just not normal in your head, That's how I feel like being a director. You're kind of a mad scientist until you have your invention that works, and people are like, you created so this is what you're saying, you created the light, And that's what a film is for us. You're crazy until people watch it and they go, oh, damn, So my job is that it's just finding a script that resonates with you on a lot of levels for whatever reason. I'm personally, the more I get into directing, the more I realize that it's taking who I am and putting it out there in a visual medium. And I'm a very a private person, and I have to make peace with that. Look, you can't hide, man. When you're a director and you say I want the script and you tell it, it's gonna have you in it, And the more I get into it, I realize I watch a lot of romantic movies, a lot of period stuff, and a lot of all the stuff that I usually like is very character based and has a lot of heart in it. So the films that draw me lean to that, and that you can see with this film, it's got a very slow tone.
Yes.
And it draws you in a very subtle way. It's all about subtle, and it's all about what you feel, not what you see. That's kind of like
it's like there's a scene there, where like the blocking of that scene, I think is the it was the best blocking in the film. At the moment, that was the moment. I'm not talking about the moment. You must see the film to see the moment I'm talking about. When she, there was that thing. Both of them, the devil and the devil and the God had to have that moment there. It was intense. It was just too pretty. The blocking, the pacing, the timing, the moments, and then that moment when the thing drops, I was like, oh, this is it. It's like having an orgasm on film. Jesus. Wow. Look, you don't understand. Oh, wow.
I also agree with that. What you said, that it's about the feeling.
Yeah.
So that's why I know
Yeah.
Bernard Hiller says acting is not here, it's here.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Big
It's a
time.
very
And-
personal
and-
and spiritual experience
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
And I think something that we should also just remember from this is just giving the writer credit. Because from the first time I laid my eyes on that script and I read throughout, like I was like this and I couldn't finish it. I had to, go from the beginning and finish it without a break because it was just that good and that enticing.
Yeah.
And I saw the character of Tando, I was like, yay! Hey, this girl! How am I gonna? Oh my gosh, I love it! I love it! I love it! I love it! Just the way that he writes. You don't, a lot of times you'll get scripts and you'll be like, okay, I need to break this down, but what was the writer trying to say here? And you struggle to connect.
Yeah.
I know Cleo.
It's,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I know
you
exactly
know
what
what I
you're
mean.
talking
And this was
Yeah.
not one of those. It's like from the minute you read every sentence, you connect with it. You're like, it makes sense. Oh wow, it went there. What? So he did a brilliant film.
I think we need to give him a lot of credit because South Africa needs to watch out for him.
Yeah. Sure.
There's something
Yeah, he writes
that
really
it is
well.
coming and
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like he's an actor's writer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel the same as well.
And I think that then brings me
it's a
to
performance,
my next question, because it ties into what you said about moments and what you said about the script is when you first saw the script, and I know personally for you, I'd like to know what drew you to the script. And I think then for my fellow actors is how did you prepare for the role and how did you find reading the script? And I think for Frank as well, it goes to when you read the script, what vision did you see before having an actual conversation with the director?
Am I starting?
Yeah, man.
When he sent me the script, I told him this is a hit. First time, because I felt the pacing, the dramatic moments that will happen. And also, as a cinematographer, you look at something like, okay, I know how I'm going to shoot this. I know how I'm going to light this. I know. And then when I met her, I was like, okay, she's the right one. It works. Because everything has to work. And then the sister as well, which is the villain, also, they're going to work together. It's going to work. So I felt the pacing. And when we started talking about the subtext, the mood, the lighting, and the whole thing, I was like, yeah, I knew it was going to be a good one. So the first thing that I liked was the pacing of the script.
Yeah, so I have so much to say about like how I got hold of the script. So I have to touch on the fact that this whole film is part of the NAVF Youth Film Project for Directors, right? So in that whole workshop, we were obviously, there were 10 of us as directors, 10 very, 9 other very talented directors that were part of the program, and we were given scripts. And within those scripts, we had to choose a script that we wanted to direct, And I was sitting and I was reading through all these scripts. And that moment when you read something and you just go, hey. And you're like, okay. And you're like, you jump up and you sit down, like, okay, I need to read this again. So I had that feeling when I read the script, and I just knew, man. I was like, these are the kind of films that I watch and that move me, The original script, I saw there was a rooftop scene, and there was this kiss with the sunlight in the back, and I was like, wow, So shout out to Raymond Motadi, who wrote this film, man. Very, very talented guy, and shout out,
Big
bro.
ups.
Thank you for letting me, handle your script, and I know I have a funny story with like Raymond. So I was reading the scripts when I obviously had been told that I've gotten the opportunity to direct the script. And there's certain things I didn't understand, and I'm calling Raymond. I'm like, yo, man, why this? And then he explains. And I'm like, oh, okay, then why this? And then eventually I had something that I wanted to change. I'm like, okay, I want to change this and that and that. And he like started panicking, He's like worrying whether I'm the right guy to direct his script. We hadn't met at that time. So eventually I'm like, yo, you know what, Raymond, let's go have coffee so you can understand what I'm trying to do with this. And he was nervous because Raymond is LGBTQ activist, so it's a very personal story. And I think that's also something that draws you to a script, when you can feel when it's a very personal story, It jumps out at you and you kind of can't ignore it. So I went and had a coffee with Raymond, and I start breaking it down. So I'm like, okay, so this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do. I love the parts in the story, and I started dissecting his script in ways that he didn't even like know. So he's like, "Damn, you really." Actually, this is his impression. Like, "Damn, man, you really read the script." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I love the story." And then at the end of the meeting, he was just like, I have the most amazing director, and then he started putting all this pressure on me, and I'm like, yo, man, let me make the film.
Slow down.
Yeah, but his energy was so like, it just gave me that fuel as well to be like, I have to like kill this film, you know? Yeah, so that's the story of how I got a hold of the script, yeah.
Well, for me, I'm very excited, and I was excited from the beginning. And how I prepared myself to get into character, I did a lot of research, I spoke to a lot of people. There's a lot of, now we have to speak in codes because we can't give away a lot, right? And for me, it's so exciting for me to start being in the process of easily getting into character, because I remember when I started in the industry, I used to struggle a lot. And I remember I went to an audition once, and the lady that was auditioning me, so I had to play Isfair, right? And I struggled a lot. And the casting director said to me, "What is wrong with you? Is this thing precious to you? Is it that precious to you? Why are you so judgmental of this character?" And you know, that made me realize that, oh, okay, so this is what surrendering to a character is. You do not judge, you just be in the moment. So I'm so excited about my career, and the reason why I say that is because of how easily I was just flowing with this character. How I just embraced her, how I just was like, you know, this is who I am, and it's okay, I'm just gonna be in the moment. So yeah, that's how I did it.
Okay.
And for you,
And
receiving the script, reading it, and
reading
preparing
it,
for the
loving it,
character.
like I said. So I just had to sit down. Like I said, I was worried because I was just like, this is a lot. This character is, where do I find it inside of me, you know? So I literally had to sit down, literally analyze like word for word that she says and why. Why does she say that? And for me, when I got the reason why she said what she said, that then informed Thando, and that then informed what came out in the moment. Whereas, you know, when you're rehearsing and when you're going through your script, you've got something in your mind. You're thinking a certain way, but then when you get on set, and then you interact with your fellow actors, and they give it to you, like Cleo and Nyaniso was giving it to me. Like they brought it out of, you know, they brought Thando out of me. I won't lie and say that, look, I found Thando. No, I found Thando on set. Because of the energy and because of the actors, what they were giving me was so phenomenal that I too just enjoyed being in the moment, and I was led by Thando. Literally, everything that was happening there, Petunia was not there. It was Thando leading every single moment and every single sort of, you know, it was, I've never experienced anything like that. It was surreal. It was like an out-of-body experience.
I like what you said, that you found Thando on set, because, and I think that's always the same for me with the characters that I play, is that you can practice at home on your own. You can read the lines, you can rehearse. It changes the moment you're on set and you interact with everybody else.
Yes, because what you're saying is very, very true. What you do is you prepare. But when you arrive, that preparation works for you.
Yes.
You can't just wait for magic to happen and say you must prepare for the magic. That's how it works.
I like that.
Yes.
The more you're prepared, the more in the moment you can be. You can live in the moment, actually. The character gets to live.
The more you prepare, the more possible it is for magic to happen.
That's very true. And I think I also like what you said, just to touch back on the script, is that the first time I read the script, I felt hot. There was passion. And it's very beautiful when you read a script, and even before you, as the director, as the DOP, as the actor, you paint a picture for yourself, the script has already painted you the picture. And it becomes very easy for you to maybe see yourself in that character, maybe not see yourself. And then that's also a way of finding out, how can I see myself fully embodying the character? It speaks to a whole lot of things, and I think this is where we understand that filmmaking or creating a show is not just one-dimensional. There's a synergy.
There's a lot.
Everything has to work.
Yes,
very true.
It all comes in, and I think that's the moment you realize, okay, maybe I'm onto greatness. I'm onto something powerful.
Yeah.
And then, which speaks to casting.
Yeah.
What was the casting process like? Because
So yeah, man, that's a big one, and I know we were talking about Raymond just now, and Raymond has been going through a bit of a backlash with the LGBTQ community, specifically about why did he not cast a trans person, you know? And to be fair to Raymond, he really, being the activist that he is, he really fought me on that when I told him that I don't think it's possible to cast a trans person. He was like, no, Kgosana, please, we have to try. We have to get people to audition, you know? And I having made my first film, Opus, which for me, the key success to that film was the actor and the performance. He carried the film, you know? So walking away from that, I was like, wow, you know, performance is you need a strong actor to carry a film. When your lead has to be strong. And we've seen it in other shows and other films locally where when your lead is weak, your film has moments of greatness and then has moments of what was that? And, you know what I mean?
It's like
So I had to have a conversation with Raymond. I'm like, I would love to cast a trans person and I would love to audition across the country and really find that person. But budget-wise, it's a short film. We've got 1 week of casting, we've got 3 days to shoot. You know, we have to be realistic, you know. So we did try to cast a trans person, and unfortunately we couldn't. But I'm very, very happy with this amazing. You guys did an amazing job.
She killed it.
You guys
killed it.
were incredible.
You guys, you murdered everything.
You know when you're watching a scene and you're just sitting back and you're kind of. I've never had that experience directing where I'm sitting back and I'm just in awe and I'm like, wow, I'm watching the film. I was already seeing the film. And talking about getting into character easily, Cleo, on our first shot that we did was the most intimate. For me, that scene was going to set the tone of the film.
The first one.
You had to make it the first shot.
And it was the first shot,
yeah.
right? And you know, if you've ever been on a film set, you know, like we shoot from early hours of the morning. So we get there, and I'm like, "Are you fine?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm like, "Okay." I don't know. You're just like giving me very different vibes on set, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm a little bit worried now. Like, is she gonna do it?" And then we get and we do the first shot, and I was just like, I was sitting on the control room. I was like, "Wow, wow." Yeah, and that talks about how good your cast is. And before we move on from casting, Nyani Sotzedze. Wow.
Yes.
I have to touch on Mr. Nyani Sotzedze, a very good friend of mine who couldn't make it. He's shooting a soapy, and do you guys remember when you did the table read? Right? So you didn't make table read, but basically we were doing a table read and I was reading his part, right? And the read was going okay, and obviously I'm not an actor, so I would read the parts and they just like, you know, they like rolling their eyes at me, you know, subliminally. And I'm like, and I'm feeling subconscious. Then Nyani arrives from set. He was shooting something else. He comes there and he goes, "Sorry guys, whatever this energy," and then we do a read through. And this guy just takes the whole mood of the room, just changes. He just takes the character and he does these little nuances like, like we're like, after we do the scene, we're just like all quiet. We're like, yo.
I remember asking, so how was that first read? The room was silent, and I could see from the corner of my eye, I looked at him and I was just like, I'm getting goosebumps.
That's how powerful.
Intense.
That moment for me was like, okay, I need to level up because this is what acting is about.
I enjoyed working with Nyani, so he's amazing. He's amazing. He makes sure that you are comfortable as an actor. We had a lot of, you know, bits and pieces of conversations before shooting certain scenes. He made sure that I was, you know, comfortable with the kissing and the touching and everything. It was really nice. We got so comfortable
so
with each other.
they were like kissing and touching in the film.
Meditated.
Just checking.
But yeah, I mean, we meditated together and we did a lot of exercises together, and so doing everything together became so easy. When we got on set, then we just flow, and it was so
Speaking
nice.
of comfortability, and I mean, especially when you want to prepare for such an intimate scene where you're going to be touching and kissing, my first question would then be, how do you prepare or navigate around a kissing scene? And secondly is, how important is it to have that comfortability with your fellow actor and just being comfortable in your own skin and comfortable yourself before you're comfortable with somebody else?
I think it's about honesty. It's about, you just say, touch it, don't touch that, don't go down there too much, or don't do that. But I'm not that type of actor. When I'm in the moment, I'm in the moment. If you want to touch my butt, touch my butt.
Yo.
You know, and because you are also in the moment,
Yes.
I don't
It's
want
for the
to
screen, yes.
restrict you as an actor. I'm very comfortable with my body and my skin. You know, I've worked with some actors who would, like, guy actors would say, so what type of kissing do you like? Do you like the lips, or do you like the do you like is it okay? I'm like, yes, okay, can I also have a speech? We're like, okay, are we good? We're good.
Wow.
So I think it's just about accommodating each other and about being honest. You have to be honest with each other.
Yeah, and you know, I'd never actually directed an intimate scene before. So when I was doing my storyboard, I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot this. Okay, now I can shoot like this, shoot like that. And then we get on set, and then it's time to do the scene, you know? And I'm like stressing, and then Yanni goes, dog, chill, don't worry, I got it. He's like, and then he goes, nah, I've got some exercises I can do with her. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he just kind of just made me relax, you know? And that's the thing when you've got very experienced actors.
Experienced people, yeah.
They've done it so much, and then I saw. Then you guys went into your corner. You were like meditating, holding hands, and whatever. And after that, when it was time to do it, it was like, yeah, you were watching a real life couple. And I love how you guys kind of carried me in that sense. And now I've got that skill to understand. Okay, that's what needs to happen before we shoot a scene like that. Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
Speaking of scenes, I'd like to know, what was everybody's favorite scene?
I think the whole scene was my favorite scene. No. You know, I've got a principle as a DOP. If you pause the film at any point, randomly, it must be art. So it isn't about, oh, this is a little scene, there's a big scene. No, every scene must work. Everything must be perfect. When I mean perfect, it's not like picture perfect, but story perfect. Yeah. So it must always work. I like the first scene, the waking up scene. You know, it was really, really nice. The drone shots as well. That moment, the picnic, really nice. The love scene, the making out scene. There's all kinds of.
So the entire film.
I love the entire film. Every scene was, you know, like so. I have this thing like every scene for me is like the only scene. Yeah, it's like after this there's no other. So let's kill it. You know, I even get into trouble sometimes because I'm just like.
That's your aim.
Yeah,
That's
let's
your
go. So, yeah, that's me. Every scene is the scene.
I liked the fact that I looked so different on the film. Like when I sent the trailer to my friends and to people on Facebook, they couldn't recognize me, and I was like, "That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That's a different character. You're not
Yes.
supposed to look at that character and see me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to look at that character and see somebody else." So everything was different, from the makeup, from my body language and everything. So I got excited about that. I was like, "Yes, we did it."
By far, the dinner scene.
Yeah.
The dinner scene was, I quote Frank, it was an orgasm of
Orgasmic
moments on camera. Yeah, man. So that scene for me, the whole film hinges on that scene. You know, when I read the script, this was me reading the script, getting to that scene, right? And that scene is the peak of your emotions. Of you go, what's going to happen next, right? So I knew that if you get it wrong, the whole film's going to be like, oh, okay, it was a nice film. But then we got to the scene, and then as well the way Frank lit that scene. Oh my God!
Yeah, it's a problem.
My
yeah.
guy.
Jesus.
It's the way he lit it. He's like, because I knew what how I wanted to block the scene and the tone and the mood that I wanted. And then he was like, okay, how about we do this, we do that. He's like, normally people would do it like this in the industry, but I'm gonna do it like this. And I love that, I love how you can take something and that's what I was saying earlier, taking it to the next level. So that's what he did, and we did we did the first take, and it was like her performance was so good.
The emotions, it's almost like you can touch it.
It was so good that when I was editing the film, I had to use the first take.
Yeah.
That's when you got something. Everybody else said was like, yo, that was, yeah. And I remember I think you were saying that's by then your character had dropped, right?
Yeah.
That for me was where that scene hinged on our villain. And without a strong performance from Petunia, there is no film. You
wouldn't have gone anywhere, yeah.
Because film is all about intentions and obstacles, right? She is the obstacle. So if the obstacle is like, she's just my bitchy little sister, you don't have a film. But if you go, yo, this woman, hey, and that's kind of what she brought to the thing. She just took the film to another level and she played off it. It was just, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Can I just say that they really looked beautiful in that thing? Like, both the villain and and the one that is under attack, they look beautiful. Like when you sad, but you still look pretty, like sad, like that's when that's the shot. You look at the shot, you're like, can we just stay on this shot, guys? That's what you want from the actor, the people that own the screen. Like you look at them on screen, you're like, okay, keep them there. I want to see them. So Yanni, Petunia, Cleo, that was it.
I know.
After that, we got this.
That for me was international, global. Like that was some Hollywood-ish right there.
And can I just say this? I also really appreciate the fact that young people in South Africa get this type of opportunity to play, to do these things. Some of the problems that I've seen in the industry is that it's just the same people being recycled. When you watch this film, you're going to see the fresh talent of South Africa. The ones that are the next industry giant, like we say it in AACA, you understand? The next industry giants. The people that are going to rule the screens in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. So those are the people you're seeing in the screen. So if you're a director, or a producer, writer, watch the film. Watch the film because you're going to see your next actors, your next your next directors, hello. You will see them. Like it's really, really, I'm so proud of the team, of the crew. Big thanks to the NAVF, obviously, like you said, the Gauteng Film Commission, SABC.
And our producer, RCB Films.
Yes, really, like it was just so beautiful. You just wanted. I just wish we kind of had more time to shoot, and just have fun. It was really nice. So, thank you so much.
So I can't speak to a favorite scene because I was only on set for like a few hours.
Yeah.
But what I can speak to is there was a lot of mention of playing, and I like how even that one scene that I shot is that you allowed us to play. You also allowed us to play. And you allowed yourself to play. And I think that's when you make magic, because then you're not focused on getting it perfect. You're not focused on getting it right and then we're moving on. Play with it, see where it takes you. Allow your surroundings as well to inform the decisions you make. And I think that for me is what makes a beautiful scene, when everything is in alignment.
Just so that we don't forget, because obviously people don't know what the story is about, and we don't want to obviously give it away. But one of the things that also inspired me, that made me love the story, the film, the script, and we spent a lot of time working on it, is really what the story is about. Because if you see the film, by the time you're done seeing the film, you will learn to love you, accept you for who you are. It doesn't matter what you are or what you want to be. And that is a story that needs to go very far, both in the mainstream media and in the underground media, whichever media. a lot of people are being judged so much. It's crazy. People don't feel okay about who they are or themselves. But that film will make you think back to yourself. Take the focus off all the nonsense that you've been fed out there and just go back to yourself and find your own acceptance. Because if you don't accept you, please don't tell anybody to accept you. You must accept yourself.
Yeah, that's a very powerful thing because earlier I was talking about what draws me to a film. So at the crux of the films I've done so far, identity is a big thing, and I personally can relate to that. You know, where you come from, and then where other spaces that you have to navigate, and you're seen as this or seen as that, or you just feel like you never belong into a space. And that's what I felt like when I read the script with our character Vui as well. And the little, it also subtly, we added certain shots and moments where we're seeing how she's seeing herself in the world. And the deeper part of that is like, is that really how people see her, or is that what she thinks that people see her?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then when you actually accept who you are, your way you see the world changes a lot, you know? And that's actually what's at the crux of this thing, is that she's holding on to this part of herself that she's scared to share because she's already preempting judgment, because one person, being the villain or whatever, said one thing about you, and then she's taking that and defining her whole identity on something negative. And I think we can all relate to that in our lives, where somebody told you can't do something or you're this way, and then it affects how you see yourself. So that's the deeper thing that underlies this film. And yeah.
I like what you both said. Just to throw in something smart that I read is that most of the time when you look in the mirror, you don't see yourself, you see your feelings. And yeah.
Wow. That is really something smart.
On that note, I think let's watch a small clip and then we'll get back into it again.
Fantastic.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Right now, I don't know if any of you have any questions from the audience. Maybe we can take a couple of questions before jumping into it again.
I have a question from Sam Udo Bok. Sorry if I pronounce your surname wrong. It says, is the movie going to be on YouTube? Also, in case we miss it on TV tonight.
That's. I think at some point it will be on those kind of platforms, but this is still a film, and a film has to do a festival run. I would like to take it internationally to some of the festivals that I've been on across the world, and then once it's done this festival run, then maybe we can then go to a streaming platform. This really is a producer's question, but I'm just speculating. We can't really answer it. I hope so. Yeah.
But so whatever happens, please just try and watch it tonight on SABC 1, 7:30 p.m. You're gonna enjoy it, and hopefully, if the producers and there's so many people involved, so when they have it available on a free platform, then that will also be fine. But for now, tonight is free on SABC. Yeah. Just put your bunnies on your TV and you're gonna.
Any more questions?
I think there was just a comment saying,
Yeah,
somebody said,
beautiful.
this is
Awesome.
beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you. It's
Thank you so much.
Like this.
That is awesome.
All right. And so I just wanted to ask, I don't know if I should open it to the panel or maybe to you, Kgosana, what is the difference in making a low budget film or a mainstream film with a big budget?
Yeah, man. You know, for me, that's actually one of the biggest things that when you go into making a short film, and I've had those instances on set where people want to come in and clock out. So one thing I'd encourage to people is that if you're going to make a short film, you need to kind of have a different mentality altogether in terms of your work ethic and as well just the resources you're going to have sometimes, the amount of days you're going to have, you know. That for me is the biggest thing. And like as well, you don't get the amount of prep time that you would like. You know, you don't have. I remember like we in the film we were doing a scene on the rooftop and it started raining. You know, so the scene that was meant to happen in the rain, I mean, without the rain, we couldn't finish it. You know, and what do you do in that instance? Because if you're doing a big budget project, you can say, you know what, we'll come on another day and pick it up and do it when the sun is out. But you got 3 days and that's it. There's no, oh, maybe we can give you a 4th day. Maybe there's no 3 days, that's the budget. So, and that really tested me as a director because I had to go home and think, I'm like, okay, we're missing this critical thing in this film. How can I do this scene now? So I had to then take a scene and put it in a basement parking and write it in as like the 2 characters are walking to the car. So that's the kind of thing that you have to do when you make a low budget film. You don't have that the resources. You don't have an assistant or who can do certain things for you. You know, I know Frank likes his assistants.
You know the problem, eh? Like I have this thing that I do on set. One more for safety.
Yeah.
One more safety.
Yeah.
One more for safety. Can we do
I've
one more
heard
for
that
safety?
like 100 times.
So the problem is that you only have the sun for like an hour in winter, for golden hour. And those are the most prettiest time of the day to shoot certain things. But you only have that time for like an hour. Now, what are you going to do? In a big budget production, you can do the same scene for 3 days or 3, 4, 5 golden hour days and then put everything together. But with this one, you only have that one golden hour. And you have to crash everything into it. The takes and the retakes and all that stuff. You don't have that luxury. So there's something good about low budget. It forces you to be resourceful, to plan really well, to work really hard, to be on top of your game. But at some point, you also want to make like really big budget stuff.
Yeah.
So you can play, you can have the spectrum to work, the space, the time, the money. You know, if we want to blow things up, we can blow things up. If we want to blow up a car or something, we can do those fun things. So we're looking forward to it, and we're hoping that by the time people see this, investors will start looking for the producer to say, guys, come, take money, do this. That's what we're looking forward to. Yes.
No, I wanted to say I really like what he said about the fact that a low budget film, it keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
It keeps you creative, which I think is a good thing because you want to keep those creative juices going, and it helps for the future. For bigger films, for big budget films, you are always on top of your game. So I like the fact that you look at the positive part of it because I don't like getting into, So yes, it's a good skill to have, to always be focused and to plan well.
Even here at ACA, we force the students to learn like that. They study under pressure because the industry is full of pressure.
Yeah.
I always tell the students, nobody is going to mama you or papa you in the industry. Actually, they will not even correct you. They will not just hire you again. That's what happens. You screw up, they don't call you back. They're not going to say, oh, don't do this like this or no. So you need to learn to find 5 ways of doing the same thing because one of them may be the one that will save you in a low budget situation. Don't sit back and hope that things are going to fall on your lap. It's not going to work like that. So, but I'm hoping that Africa will start investing more in their creatives, because we are the ones that shape the image of the continent.
Yeah.
And speaking to the industry, what is the most difficult thing about being in this particular industry for any of you?
A lot of things that I've learned about the industry are self-taught. I've had to teach myself. And I feel like some people have been fortunate that they had people that whispered in their ears and said, hey, this is what you need to do. When you get an opportunity like this, you do that. In order to get another opportunity like this, you do that. Some of us have had to learn the hard way. And I appreciate that though. I embrace it because it has taught me to be firm and grounded in who I am. And, you know, to not, I mean, I got a call yesterday. I was cast for a show and
Congratulations.
but they refused to pay my rate.
Yeah.
They refused
you see,
to pay my rate,
that's
and I
another thing.
refused to be on the show.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of myself. I felt so good for the first time because, you know, a lot of actors are desperate. And I understand. I'm not saying it from being a judgmental point of view because we've got bills to pay, guys, you know. But it's nice to be in that space where you can say, you know what, no, I'm not going to allow this. This is my rate. This is what I go for, and I'm not going to accept that. So it's nice to be in that state of mind.
It is very difficult because the industry is tiny. How many TV stations do we have here? How many production houses?
Yeah.
You see, so
Yeah.
and most times, and upcoming actors, they struggle with this. Even upcoming filmmakers as well. The guys that are calling the shots, they don't want to take any risk. They want to play safe. They want to repeat the same person they know is going to deliver. But I'm telling them now, guys, there are too much talent in South Africa. Like, you know, give all these fresh, energetic actors, filmmakers, talent, give them a chance. You know, pay them well. Don't say, we're going to give you exposure. Exposure does not pay rent, guys. Pay them, even if it's not like, you know, but pay them. And if you see something that you like, pay for it. You know, if they called you, it's because they like what you've done. So why don't you pay for it?
And as an actor, you are not supposed to be insecure about your capabilities and qualities because I find that a lot of us actors, we become unsure of who we are. It goes back to what you guys were saying about being sure of who you are and embracing
and accepting
who you
it,
are.
yes. Yeah.
So I think once we start treating ourselves the way we want to be treated, we will. The producers will also treat us the same.
And
way.
also, can I just say this? And these are usually not the popular thing to say. Please, producers, pay black people their rates.
Yes.
Okay, can you just pay black people their rates? You know, because when it's a black person, a black cinematographer, black actor, black whatever, then there is no budget. And no. Pay black people their rate. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Okay? Whatever. Let's put it there. Please, let's do that. If I hire a white person or I hire a black person, I'm interested in what can they do. I pay you for what you do, not because of the color of your skin. We need to break this. And I'm not only saying that it's white producers that do that, even black producers do it to black actors.
Yes.
They bring a black actor, they want to negotiate. Like, why are you doing that? Just pay. You know?
And I think for me that's what is the difficult part about being in the industry is in as much as we are still a small industry, it's difficult for us to navigate an industry that's still not sure of itself. That's still growing. And that's what makes it difficult for as a young actor to come into an industry and you are supposed to know your story and be sure of yourself, be sure of who you are. But then the difficult thing is the industry is not sure about itself. It's forever chopping and changing. So where do I find myself in the entire thing?
It needs to wake up. The world is not sitting around waiting for us. And South Africa, we've got everything. We've got the infrastructure, we've got the space, we've got the people, we've got everything. So let's do this. All right.
Yeah, man. That's such a loaded question. For me, that's actually that is the biggest thing of the industry is when it's because we're in an industry where people can be self-taught and people can do a lot of things. Like especially in the South African context, you can be a jack of all trades. It's what also kills our industry a little bit. I saw somebody on Twitter saying that white people must stop exploiting us and whatever, and talking about from a creative sense. we still live? We still making a show? Cool. So somebody said that on Twitter, and I was like, look, for me, it's not a white or black person thing. It's a bigger systematic problem in the sense that we push this thing of passion. Like, I'm doing it for the passion, right? And I think it's okay to have that at some point in your career, but you need to get to a point where you know what you're worth, you know? And I think that's where you guys are touching on now, is can you pay us what we're worth? I know my worth now, so when it comes to, because I know what it takes to direct and make a film, and I know how much effort I put into it, I'm not going to do anything I'm not going to do work where I'm not getting paid what I'm worth, you know? And I'll gladly put that up front to anybody who wants to work with me, so yeah.
But speaking to that is then, how do you find the balance between the business of the industry and making the art? So fulfilling passion, so to speak.
Everybody at some point, they're going to do passion project. I'm not talking about that. Like, that's a normal thing. I've shot a lot of things for free. You know, I've shot a lot of things for almost nothing. And then I've shot a lot of things that also paid a lot of money. So, but you are both. You are both an artist and you're also a business person. If you don't do the business part, you can't sustain the art. And also, if you are just about the business, you also lose the art. So there is a balance that must be struck between the two. And then that's how you find yourself and prosper in the system.
Have you managed to find the balance?
I have, and obviously I'm constantly improving in the balance. I'm as 100% artist as 100% business person. He knows that. Like, I tell him, guys, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but if I'm kicked out and I'm on the street, I won't be in the right mind to create magic. So both must work together nicely, yes.
And anyone has...
Yeah, so for me, I obviously come from a TV space, making TV shows, where in that space you are answering to the broadcaster, and the broadcaster is the one who's putting up the money. They're the ones who tell you, I don't like this, I want this, I want this, I want this, right? And that's a very different space, because you hope that you get a broadcaster who believes in your art so much that they will let you do your art while still focusing on the commercial side of something. But it's not always the case. So we end up a lot of times doing something for commercial reasons. And what I like about this space of doing films is you source the money, you have a lot more freedom to concentrate on the art and just say, like with this, I was like, with this kind of film, I didn't do it for commercial sense. It's not a thing where I'm gonna like, a million people are gonna watch it, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of money. But it's the art. So because I knew I was doing it for the art, I was like, you know what, I'm going to tell this how I want to tell it. If viewers don't like it, oh well, you know, tough on them. So this is an art piece, you know. Should I make something that goes to cinema? That's a very different conversation, because it's kind of a bit of both there. You want people to watch it, you want people to spend money on your film. So yeah.
And I think before we close off, I just have one question is, what advice do you have for somebody who wants to be where you're sitting right now, who wants to be a DOP, who wants to become a director, who wants to become an actor? What advice would you give them?
My first advice would be come to AACA. Come to AACA, we're going to teach you everything that you want to know. And then also keep learning. You know, we learn every day. We keep improving every day. You know, I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly researching, reading, watching movies, watching behind the scenes, you know, going to events, meeting people, having filmmaker friends, filmmaker colleagues. You have to keep working it. It's like sharpening the sword. You know, you need to keep working at it. Some people did not have the opportunity to be mentored, and you know, that went to school and all that stuff. And also some people have that opportunity, so take it, you know, study, 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 and study. The thing with film is that if you're a filmmaker, you're gonna do well anyway. Like a cinematographer, if I go to the States, I just need my camera on my phone. I'm gonna create content. If I go to China, where I don't hear anything they're saying, the shots are the same. A close-up is a close-up in South Africa and in China is the same thing. If they don't know the name, the shot is telling you what it is. So it's not like other professions. You know, there are a few professions in the world where you're able to do that. If you're a doctor here, you can be a doctor anywhere. The same thing with filmmaker. If you're a filmmaker here, you can be a filmmaker anywhere. So it's quite a good industry to be in.
Yeah. I think for me, what I can tell people who are aspiring to be actors is go to school and study. You know, the industry is changing in such a way that it's almost like people won't really look at you if you haven't gone to some sort of institution or short course or something to show that you're actually serious about, you know, wanting to be an actor. You know, I know particularly with regard to getting an agency, people don't get in because they're like, hey, take me, and then, you know, the agent is like, well, what have you done? Do you have 3 years experience? You have a degree? Do you have honors? You know, and they're like, no, I just want to act. I just woke up and I was like, yeah, I just want to be on TV. I just want to act. They don't take you seriously if you're going to come at them with that. But if you show initiative and you go to like a 2-week course of acting, or, you know, every week for like, you know, 2 months or whatever, then it's like, okay, this person's actually serious. Maybe let me kind of, you know, look at that. The industry is changing in such a way that they're actually starting to respect people that went to school. And now there's a lot of people that are going to school. It's not like before, 50 years or 30 years or whatever, you know, in the past. Now it's like, what are your papers? You know, and even though, you know, you learn it and you have papers, when you walk into the audition room, it's like, what are you doing? Your papers kind of got you here, but now I want to see your talent.
See the work, yes.
Yeah, you constantly need to keep applying yourself. So it's not enough to just go to VITS or AFDA or whatever for 3 years and then get your degree and then you're like, I've made it in life. You must constantly read books, you know, keep doing monologues, keep acting with your friends, keep going to workshops. You know, it never gets tired. And acting is a practice. It's active. Acting is active. You know, and it doesn't die. The minute you're like, I've got it, then you've lost it. You know, so persevere, go to school, study, be informed, and focus. You know, yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, so for someone like me who doesn't have a film education background, I've got a music background, and I kind of transitioned by some divine, you know, intervention for me to become a filmmaker. And I had a lot of those questions of, can I really become a director? Can I really become a storyteller? Can I really do this, you know? And if anybody's watching this and they're having the same thing, like I want to be a director, and you questioning whether you can do it, my answer is that you are already a storyteller because you have a story to tell. You've lived some sort of life that has that you can tell to somebody. Your job after that fact is just learning how to best do that, and like Frank touched on it, surrounding yourself with certain people, learning and immersing yourself in whatever knowledge, however you can get it. Me being a self-taught kind of director, I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly watching stuff, I'm constantly now, I feel like I'm in film school at the moment, you know, like, cool, yeah, I did a film and won an award internationally, whatever. The next thing is, okay, what can I learn next? And if you want to be a director, if you want to be in the space, you have to have that attitude constantly, you know? Know what you want and know what you want to do, but be in a room with people. Whenever you're in a room with people who know more than you and can impart knowledge or anything like that, be ready to accept it and use that to grow. That's the best advice I can give someone. Yeah.
I think for me personally, and it's not even anything great, but it's about understanding why you want to be in the industry and what you want to do. Be in it for the right reasons, because at the end of the day, this industry, yes, we show you the glitz and glam, but it's long hours.
Yeah.
And if you are going to be in it because you want to become famous, the cracks are going to start to show. Then you're not in it for the right reasons. You won't even be able to put in the work. You won't give it your all because you're just chasing 10% of what the industry is made out of. And you're going to get it wrong.
And also on top of that, I think people think that acting is about lines. Lines is not enough. Knowing your lines is not enough. actually 25% of what actually
Action
goes
is,
into
yeah.
doing it. Knowing your lines, yes, that's a start. It's actually a start. It's not the end all and be all. You can't know your lines and get on set and be like, I know my lines, and then just, wait for the person to say, to respond.
Anybody can read lines.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
To be able to live in the moment and actually acting, is being. To be actually, become the character, you need to, you need
to become the character.
You need to become the character. You can't become the character if you don't know your lines, but that's a start. It's not the end all and be all of what you need to do.
Thank you guys for joining. I'd like to say joining me, but thank you guys for having the chat with us.
Wow.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you catch Feminine Lotus tonight at 19:30, at 7:30 on SABC1. And beyond
Can we thank our sponsors, please? Let's thank the sponsors.
Thank you to the
NVF.
sponsors. Please, because I don't want to miss anyone out.
So I just want to give a big thank you to National Film and Video Foundation. They've just been really incredible in supporting my career, funding my first film, and also selecting me to be part of this director's initiatives for me to once again grow my craft. So thank you to them, Gauteng Film Commission, all the other sponsors, and specifically our producer, RCB Films, who ran all these films and ran the production and really was willing to listen to us as directors and support us in whatever we wanted, and kind of walk with us through this whole journey. And thank you to everyone. Cool.
But most importantly, thank you to AACA for giving us the space and allowing us to be here and have this conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, but most importantly, thank you guys.
Thanks.
This wouldn't be possible without you guys.
This has been really nice. Thanks. Let's do this again. Let's do it again.
When we do
sometime
Hollywood features.
Yes.
Hire me.
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
That would be awesome.
Hire me.
That would be awesome.
Don't
Thanks.
forget me.
Yes, definitely.